going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone. You guys look beautiful. Thank you all so much for coming out. My name is Shanitria Moore, and I am the co-chair for the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society first Inaugural Awards Luncheon. I'm so excited. Look around the room. You guys all came out to celebrate your loved ones on this beautiful Saturday. And I promise you, anyone that knows me, I will not keep you long. So without further ado, welcome. Thank you so much for coming out. Alan's going to come up. Alan is the chair for this afternoon's event. Thank you.
All right. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The board of directors, president of T. Leroy Jefferson, and my good friend, Dr. O, vice president of T. Leroy Jefferson, my lovely wife, Dr. Tiffany McCullough, Dr. Gordon Johnson, our guest speaker, health professionals, colleagues, special guests, and award nominees. Just like Shanitra said, welcome. This is our first annual inaugural awards luncheon. Today we come together to honor and celebrate those in healthcare that have exceeded expectations to meet and make this organization one of the best this community has ever seen. Again, my name is Alan Bottorff. I'm the chairman of the fundraising committee. I'm also the co-chairman or chairperson of this historical event. I'd like to bring back up Shanitra, who's been keeping me on track and keeping this program on track. She's my friend, so let's give applause for Shanitra Moore. I'd like to give her just a little bit of something. On behalf of T. Leroy Jefferson and the work you've did, we did this in 3 weeks, by the way. Thank you so much. There was just over 3 weeks ago, we were told by some that this would never be able to pull this off, or we wouldn't be able to pull this off. And just take a look around the room. I think we did it. Thank you. We're honored to be in presence of such great people, beautiful people. And before I begin today, I always like to start off with a little something funny. A physician, engineer, and politician were discussing who among them belonged to the oldest of the three professions. The physician said, "Remember on the sixth day, God took a rib from Adam and fashioned Eve, making him the first surgeon. Therefore, medicine is the oldest profession." The engineer replied, "But before that, God created the heavens and the earth, and from chaos and confusion, and thus was the first engineer. Therefore, engineering is the older profession than medicine." Then the politician spoke up and he said, "Yes," he said, "but who do you think created all the chaos and confusion?" So I guess the politician won that debate. I'd be remiss if I didn't thank those who helped me and help all of us make today possible. So let's begin by giving a round of applause to the award gala committee, if we could, please. Without your support, we could have never made this possible in such a short time frame. I'd also like to formally thank Dr. O, who pushed and supported us, making us believe that this was going to happen. I'd also like to personally thank my co-chair again, Shanitra Moore, for her hard work. And lastly, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for supporting T. Leroy Jefferson. You took time out of your day, and you have no idea how thankful we are for your presence. Now let's get on with the show. Dr. T. Leroy Jefferson was a man in the South. He was born in the South. He was an first African-American physician in West Palm Beach. He was known as the bicycle doctor because he made his rounds and house calls on a bicycle throughout the entire county. Physician, teacher, entrepreneur, he helped those regardless of their ability to pay. T. Leroy Jefferson's Medical Society has carried on this legacy. As a nonprofit, it is our mission to improve the health and wellness, access to care, academics, the career opportunities, and the quality of life for the underserved populations through provisions of healthcare, education, career exposure, and youth development services. Our members volunteered their time to provide community service using the vision and values they've learned from their own experiences, as well as organizations such as this one. I'm proud to announce that TLJMS Medical Society is a 3-time National Medical Association Small Chapter of the Year. So what you have in your program is a pledge card in front of you. If you decide to fill those out, just remember the impact that this organization and all the communities that we serve and all the things that we do to make it better for our youth and then for our adults. We'll pick those cards up at the end, later in the program. All right, so at this time would like to invite Dr. Osiami, President of TLJMS Medical Society.
Good afternoon. Man, you guys are so anemic. Good afternoon. That sounds better. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the historical inaugural luncheon for TLJMS. We're here to celebrate and raise awareness about the work we do. Yes, it does take a village to raise a kid. TLJMS Medical Society provides mentorship program, education, healthcare, among others. But we need your help to keep moving. Your support is needed now and in the future. We believe anything is possible, and we want you to believe in us. Together, we're here to support the community. So thank you, and enjoy the afternoon.
If Mr. Pablo could come up and do the invocation, and then we'll get ready to serve the actual lunch.
Good afternoon. Let us prepare to eat. Dear Lord, help us be aware of your presence in us and around us. Dear Lord, help us to be grateful for your presence in us and around us. Dear Lord, you are the true healer. Heal us of our brokenness, our division, our separateness. Bring us together, dear Lord, through this lunch, through this work, and through this occasion. Amen.
With that being said, lunch is served. Yes, so we're going to continue our program, and like I just mentioned, I can slow down. Sunitra's not giving me a hard time, so now I can just mellow out a little bit. We'd like to introduce and bring up the platinum sponsor, which is O Research. So if we can get a round of applause for our platinum sponsor, Dr. Osiami.
All right. O Research. I'm just going to give you a quick overview of what we do and what benefits this might have for your patients. A few years ago, actually back in 2000 when I first came to town, I realized that, the question I asked myself was, what's the difference between my practice and University of Miami, Harvard, Johns Hopkins? Why would you go there instead of coming to me? Well, the reality is they have novel therapy, innovative things that they do. So they're on the cutting edge of medicine, and they do that by doing research. Therefore, I thought bringing research here to Palm Beach County was a great idea. And since we've done that, we've seen patients who used to go to NIH, Miami, come to us to get the same therapy. So we provide things, for example, if you have a disease process that you don't have any treatment for, all the existing FDA-approved drug doesn't work for you, or you can't tolerate what's out there, we may have research for you. And research gives you access to those new medications. And usually with research, everything is free. Doctor's visit is free, the lab testing is free, medication is free. In fact, you also get paid for your time for volunteering. So your patients may benefit. So if you have any disease process or or if you're interested in giving access to your patients, give us a call. We have a variety of different things we do: endometriosis, NASH, HIV, hepatitis C, influenza, new antibiotics for skin infection, name it. We've got most of it. If you don't have it, we'll point you in the right direction. So thank you. Before I get off the stage, this is a surprise. When we put this together, it was in January. I called Shanitra and I called Alan and said, we need to do this. And we need to do it in February. They look at me and say, you're crazy. A month? I said, yes. They gave me excuses. We have Honda Classic. We can't do it that day. We have this. I said, okay, March. And this is happening. I said, no, we're going to pick this date. But you know what? They pull it together. They get together, get everything done in 3 weeks. They made this happen. So, Shanitra, where are you? Oh, hiding behind me. Thank you for everything you've done. I know Alan gave you something already, so. And that's from TLJMS to you for everything you've done. Pablo, ¿dónde? Shawanda, come up here. Yes, you. Our staff members also put a lot of time to make this happen. So I want to thank you both for all the hard work you put out there. All right, let the party begin.
Thank you, Dr. O. I didn't know I was going to get a trip to the Bahamas for 2 weeks. Okay. No, I'm just joking. It wasn't that. Right now, I'd like to introduce the keynote speaker. It's a man who needs no introductions. He mentors many of us still today, still mentors me. I call him Dad. I'm not really his son, but I'm Dad. But he's made me and many like me become better versions of ourselves. So as a former chief of staff of Wellington Medical Center, he has made the difference in treating and caring for all of our loved ones. Currently, he's the pathology consultant for Meditrend Group. So it is my honor and pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce you, the man, the legend, Dr. Gordon Johnson.
Thank you, Alan. President Osiemi, members of the board, and friends. I am a pathologist. A pathologist is a medical doctor that studies disease. Civilized society reacts with a mixture of horror and macabre fascination to the unlawful taking of a human life, while paradoxically accepting with comparative equanimity the wholesale slaughter of the battlefield. You all actually think I'm serious talking like that? Everybody's looking at me like, uh-huh. Okay, let me give you something important, okay? Do this. This makes a B. That's where your bread plate is, okay? This makes a D. Your drink's on that side, all right? So you can line it up and get it right, all right? So remember that. That's something I've taught you. My good friend, I didn't know what to talk about today, so I consulted Al Graham. You know, of all the engineers I know, he is one of them. Stand up, Al. My dad told me, I had the pleasure of doing a commencement address at my college, and my dad was chairman of the board. That's not why I got the position or anything. And my dad said, son, I don't care what you got to say. No one wants to listen to you for more than 10 minutes, just before my talk. Everybody's going, that's right. All right, so listen, I've got some notes here. I want to take you through a brief history of medicine, and then I'm going to add a few salient points. So to start out with, it might seem a little dry, but bear with me, because it's going to get good at the end, all right? If we do a brief history of medicine, we must start with Hippocrates. Hippocrates, born in 460, was the first to assemble a group of physicians. I said 460 before the Common Era. He assembled a group of physicians, and they said, you know, what we want to do is prove and teach that medicine comes from observing the patient, documenting, teaching, and having ethical relationships with our patients, with each other. If you take the Hippocratic Oath, you doctors out there, you're supposed to be taking care of me for free because I'm a fellow physician. Read it. So that's true. So, and this is what they established. And it was a wonderful, they went about and they did about 70 volumes, and I could go into all of their teachings and the great things that made the Hippocratic physicians so great, but I got other stuff to cover, and they've just given me a few minutes. We next get to Galen. Galen was born about 130 in the Common Era. Galen, when I say I'm going to do things that kind of put you in mind of some of the current conditions, Galen was a boastful man with little hands. He was smart, and he could talk people into stuff, and he taught, and he went all over the place teaching, and everyone loved Galen, and Galen actually would take animals and vivisect them, and he would give demonstrations, and he likened all of these demonstrations to human beings, and he wrote 22 volumes, and he taught all over the Roman Empire and became the physician to Marcus Aurelius. He learned what he did know about the human body because he was the physician to the gladiators. So he would see them split open, and he'd go in and write something down. But he never really dissected humans. He dissected animals, and he made all these writings, and he made a lot of mistakes. But his philosophy was the word. His teachings in medicine, he actually said this. He said the 22 volumes that he wrote contained all of medicine. There was nothing else ever to be discovered in medicine. Does that remind you anybody? But he, with the little hands, but he actually said that. And for the next almost 1,500 years, there was no progress in medicine. The Galenic principles were what everyone went by. And in fact, even in the 20th century, they were using Galenic potions. And in the early 1900s, which would be the 20th century, a lot of physicians still believed a lot of his principles, and they were erred. The first person to question Galen was in 1543, when a book was published by Andreas Vesalius, who was a Flemish physician who was studying in Italy. Italy was the seat of medicine at the time, in the 1500s. So if you really wanted to know medicine, you went to Italy. So we had Vesalius, who questioned him, who had, here's a little pathology for you. He grew up in, I think when you're Flemish, you're from Belgium, right? He grew up near what they call Gallows Hill, and they would execute criminals and leave them on this hill to rot. So Vesalius had to be a little on the weird side. He would go up there, study these bodies, and open them up and write and document, and then later on decide to go into medicine, and he got someone that could really document everything, and they documented all of this and proved it, and he started to be a teacher, and he wrote books. After Vesalius came William Harvey, and I call this the Williams. William Harvey was the first of the Williams, and he described circulation. You know, in other words, as Galen had said, you eat, the food goes from your stomach into your liver makes blood, and then the veins go from the liver, and the blood drenches the body. That's what they believed until the 1600s, when William Harvey said, no, that's not true. He showed that the heart was a pump and how the system worked. After William Harvey, I'm doing this briefly, I could go on, but after William Harvey, there was a gentleman by the name of Giovanni Margagni. Now, those of you, if anybody's in OBGYN, you know we call those little cysts on the fallopian tubes the hydatids of Margagni. Well, Margagni did this, okay? He documented in 1705, there was a man that was 72 who was sick, had pain around his navel. The pain then went to his right side, then kind of down, and in about 5 days, he really could barely walk. In about 7 days, he was feverish and red. In about 12 days, he was convulsing, and his stomach was, his abdomen was swollen. The man became unconscious and died in about 2.5 weeks. Well, Giovanni Margagni cut him open and examined him. See, they didn't do that too often. So that was in about 1671. So he cut him open, and he looked at him, and he examined him, and he described this. Then he went on with a man by the name of Antonio Valsalva, and many of you know the Valsalva maneuver, and they published 700 cases where they followed the human being as a sick person to the autopsy table and then described what they saw. Well, this was tremendous. Okay, this really changed medicine. They didn't have anything like that. So that was Margagni. John Hunter, an Englishman, Margagni, by the way, was also in Italy. John Hunter, an Englishman, he was in England, but he started active experimentation. He actually, this sounds a little weird to me, but he inoculated himself with a patient's fluids that had syphilis to prove that that's how you got syphilis was in this material. He did experiments like that. I think he probably caught it somewhere and then said, no, I was doing an experiment. I mean, that's what I would have done. But at any rate, so that was John. John Hunter ruptured his Achilles tendon, so he then went and got a bunch of rabbits. He cut their Achilles tendon, and then he sacrificed them over a period of time to see how that was healing as his healed, and he described inflammation, healing, and repair. So he was and his wife worked with him on all these things. Obviously not everything that she was working with him. But after John Hunter was Renee Laennec. Now, you know Renee Laennec for Laennec cirrhosis, describing diseases of the liver. But he actually discovered the stethoscope. And he was a little stubby man, and you had to put your ear. I could go into auscultation, percussion, and how that was all invented, but it was at about this time. And he was a little nervous putting his ear up to women's chest, but that's the only way you could hear what was going on in there. So he took a tube and rolled it and listened, and he invented the stethoscope. Then he wrote an entire series of books about auscultation and percussion. So that was in 1816. So you see, this stuff has not been around that long. This is all fairly recent stuff. What I want to get to, I'm going to break. I could go into Joseph Lister and the fact that Joseph Lister discovered asepsis and carbolic acid used. Otherwise, prior to that time, almost everybody died that had surgery. Think of this. I'll give you one fact about Lister, Joseph Lister, and the discovery of asepsis, or ways to kill germs. During the Franco-Persian War, there were 13,000 surgeries done, amputations done. 13,000 amputations. And in that 13,000 amputations, over 10,000 people died that had those amputations. Many of those amputations were a finger or a toe. You died. I could go into it, but you died if anybody touched you and did surgery for the most part. Lister started to change all that. Well, that was only in the mid-1800s. So you see, this stuff's all fairly new. I was born in 1950, so if you take how old I am and go back that far again, you're almost at the time of Lister. I hate to say it, but you see, it hasn't been around that long. Now, here, I've talked about that, but here's what's very important, what I want to leave you with. In 1877, Johns Hopkins left $7 million to build a medical school in Baltimore. By 1889, he left it for a medical school and a university. The hospital was built, but not the medical school. They couldn't get the last bit of money because they ran out of money. The Baltimore and Ohio Railroad stock went down, and that's what part of their money was based on. So a group of women got together. They were daughters of some of the trustees of the university and said, if you'll do these things, we will raise the rest of that money and build Johns Hopkins. You must accept women on an equal basis. You know, that wasn't too much happening. You must, everyone that applies must be fairly fluent in French and German, because those were the main seats of medicine. The United States was pitiful. They almost had no medicine in the United States. Any doctor could say, that's my medical school over there, and people would go work with them for a while, and they were considered doctors. But Europe was different. So they said they must have a degree. They must know French and and German. They must have graduated, and they must be top in their class. So and they wanted women accepted equally. So they raised the money, and they did Hopkins. Well, that became the standard, and that's when America began to be tops in the country. It started with Hopkins. Okay, we got any Hopkins people here? It started with Hopkins. That's when America started to pull away from the others because they assembled a group of great surgeons, all the Williams, William Halsted, William Osler, Welch, and now I get to a salient point. Halsted was one of the greatest surgeons of all time. If you are a surgeon, you are a descendant probably of Halsted. Halsted started learning, got addicted to cocaine early. William Welch, a pathologist, gave him a job working in his lab while he recovered. And part of his recovery was to operate very slow and meticulously because he was still nervous. He was still his nerves were wrecked from the cocaine. So he developed a type of surgery called the surgery of safety, slow, meticulous surgery. This went on to spread throughout the world as the best surgery. When he died, they found out he was not only a cocaine addict, he was a heroin addict. Now, Jeff, little sawed-off Sessions, if you put them all in jail, we won't have a Halsted. We need justice reform. We don't need to treat all these people like criminals. So that's part of the pertinent part of that. One of the great people that came out of the Hopkins experience was a lady by the name of Helen Taussig. Taussig noticed that these little blue babies, and she had a propensity for pediatric cardiology, these little blue babies, she thought she could devise an operation that they would do better. So she got together with Alfred Blaylock and Vivian Thomas, a black man, who was skilled at surgery, but who wasn't really a doctor, but she insisted he be in on it. They got together and they performed the first real open heart surgery on a baby. So you see, this was a woman. So you see, open heart surgery did not start with adults. It started with babies. It then grew into adults. They became more comfortable. I could go into Shumway and all the people that tried cardiac transplants at first, and it didn't work. And eventually, they even got that under control with cyclosporin that inhibits the immune response. And all of that, and all we know about cancer, and all that started with Helen Taussig. It took 15 years for him to make her a professor. So, Jeff Sessions, a heroin addict that you want to throw in jail, might be the person that trains every surgeon for the next millennium in the country. Me Too women, they undergo this. It's still happening. They might be the ones that change everything. Women, Helen Taussig, the women at Hopkins that put together the money. We have to listen to everybody. Everybody has to be all-inclusive. That's what this country is founded on. It's certainly borne out through the history of medicine. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. In appreciation from T. Leroy Jefferson, we got you a gift.
Yeah.
It's heroin. No, I'm just kidding.
Heroin. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's give him another round of applause. The first time I met Dr. Johnson was at Dr. OCME's Christmas party. and he had a strange hat on his head. And you remind me so much of my father because only you and my father would wear those hats in public. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started for where we're all here this afternoon. We are here to honor some of these servants in the community, thank them for their hard work. Let's give all the nominees a round of applause. This is a little tall, so I'm going to unravel it here. So we're going to start with the first category of Health Educator of Excellence Award. And we had it narrowed down to 3 nominees in that category. So all 3 of these ladies are winners. So let's give them a round of applause. Dr. Okay, you're here. And Alan, so we're going to we have certificates for all of the nominees, and then the actual winner will be announced here today. They don't even know who that is. And we actually have a crystal award for the actual winner out of the 3 nominees. But the first young lady we'd like to talk about, I'll give you a brief overview of who she is. I know this lady personally. I run into her all the time in the community, educating the community about diabetes. She has these demonstrations that make you not want to ever eat anything else wrong again. Like the thing with the fat. I'm like, really? Is that what 5 pounds of fat look like? But she is an educator at Jupiter Medical Center, providing education in the classrooms, at the bedside, and as I mentioned, in the community. She's also a member of the Diabetes Coalition of Palm Beach County, the Planning Committee of South Florida American Diabetes Association, Annual Conference, and Healthier Jupiter. Would Ms. Please Sobian Gross come up, please? Thank you so much for everything you do in the community. Yeah, bring it down. Well, unless you guys. Yeah, come up, Alan. Thank you so much. Our next nominee is this young lady, Miss Tracy McKelton. Tracy is a certified nursing, a Palm Beach County College certified nurse assistant. In 2017, she went through a 6-week program that was offered to help out the Belle Glade campus and all of the students there. This scholarship targeted displaced workers 18 years and older with high school diplomas who were recently laid off or no longer receiving unemployment. After completing this program, students were ready to embark upon a healthier career. Now, Tracy really has a heart and a compassion for the community out in Belle Glade, and we appreciate that so much. Tracy, would you please come up? Tracy McKelton. She is a nurse practitioner. Where's Tracy? Oh, okay. Thank you, Tracy. Our next nominee is a strong educating on the importance of early and consistent prenatal care within the community. She has over 15 years of professional experience working with children and families here in Palm Beach County. She is currently the Director of Outreach Education with Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies of Palm Beach County. In 2017, Anitra created Women of Wisdom, Leaving a Legacy for Families, and Pillars of Power, Leaving a Legacy for Families, educating awareness events on the importance of prenatal care, development screening and assessments, and parenting education. Ms. Moss holds a bachelor's degree in criminal justice from Alabama State and a master's degree in mental health counseling from Palm Beach County Atlantic University. The winner for this year's Healthcare Educator of Excellence Award, Ms. Anitra Moss. Would you please come to the stage? Let's give them all another round of applause. Our next category is Unsung Hero of Service Award. This was really dear to me as well, because how many know that there's so many people that do things in the background and you never know about it. So I'm really, really excited about this category as well as all of them, but this one was dear because I think educators along with social workers, a lot of times they're never mentioned. So first I'd like to talk about a young lady, Annalise Sheehan. After several successful careers in her life, she felt God gave her a gift of helping people. She decided to give up everything, go to school, get her BA. Graduating at the age of 46, she says, I want to give back to the universe because I have been blessed. Annalise is a social worker at Vitas Healthcare. Annalise, please come to the stage. Let's give her a round of applause. This young lady, when I met her, immediately there was a connection, and I saw some of the things that she was doing at her hospital, which is Kendrick's Hospital. She is a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and an educator for over 37 years here in the Palm Beach County area. She's been married for 20 years. Is it 20? 37. Oh, my God. 37 years. But she's been involved with hospice and palliative care for over 20 years. She's a CPR educator through AHA, precepting and mentoring countless local college nursing students, and now serves as the director of education at Kendrick Hospital with her heart. Let's welcome Sandra Hancock, RN. This young lady here is very passionate about advocating for the elderly, adults with disabilities, and serving in her community. She is the founder and CEO of Care Managers of South Florida, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. She is a CNA, hospice volunteer, member of AAA, and published a book called No Time to Grieve, Give Me My Flowers While I Yet Live. And this was published 1 year before she founded Care Management of South Florida. Let's give a round of applause for this year's Unsung Hero of Service Award, Ms. Pat Fedina. And as you guys know, when you're doing things for the community, you need community partners. And we're looking for more partners. But we wanted to acknowledge these three this time because we've done some things with them over several years. And some of the key programs that the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society hold every year are held at some of these facilities. Found Care is a nonprofit healthcare provider with conventional locations in Palm Beach County, whose mission is to fulfill unmet healthcare needs and social services needs of individuals and families here. Found Care operates as a FQHC, offering pediatric and adult primary care, chronic disease management, behavioral health, laboratories, and x-ray dentistry and pharmacy services. Found Care serves all patients regardless of their ability to pay and offer a sliding fee discounted scale based on their household income for individuals without health insurance. We also have our annual health fair every year at Found Care. With a representative from Found Care, please come up. Thank you so much. No. Each year, we also have a health symposium. Inlet Grove Community High School is ranked 149th within the state of Florida. Students have the opportunity to take advancement placement courses and exams. The AP participation rate at Inlet Grove High School is 45%. The student body makeup is 40% male and 60% female, and the total minority enrollment is 93%. We do actually have this event coming up on April the 7th. We'd love for you to come out and participate and support it. Is there anyone here from Inlet Grove to receive this award? Thank you so much. Scott McDermott from Inlet Grove. A community partner that is a pioneer, Vitas Healthcare is a pioneer and leader in the hospice movement since 1978. It is one of the nation's largest provider of end-of-life care. Vitas has programs in 16 states with over 48 programs across the country. The name is derived from the Latin word for lives and symbolizes that Vitas' mission is to preserve the quality of life for those who have limited time. This year's Community Partner of the Year Award goes to Vitas Healthcare, and we have the Associate Medical Director, Dr. Michelle Thomas, coming to get their award. Our next category is T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society Physician of the Year Award. Are you guys enjoying yourself so far? Dr. Catherine Lowe. Dr. Catherine Lowe is an eye surgeon as well as an ophthalmologist. She can do it all right there at her location. Dr. Catherine Lowe is board-certified ophthalmologist in a private practice in Palm Beach County. Born and raised in Belgrade, Dr. Lowe is one of the founding members of T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society, helping to reestablish the organization in the early 1990s when it was inactive. Let's give Dr. Lowe a round of applause. She's one of the reasons why we even still have this organization. Thank you, Dr. Lowe. Dr. Roger Duncan, anesthesiologist, works right there at Palm West Hospital. He's board certified and has been practicing in Palm Beach County for over 16 years. He is a youth service chair and the immediate past president for the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society. Dr. Duncan has served on several areas, medical and philanthropist boards, including the Palm Beach County Medical Society. Let's give Dr. Roger Duncan a big round of applause, who's also a very active member here with the T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society. Dr. Colette Brown Graham is a gynecologist working right there at the Women's of Wellington Center. She is board certified and is a diplomat of the National Board of Medical Examiners. In addition to her private practice, she is an advocate for women's health issues, and in addition to T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society, is involved in several community organizations that strive to bring better care to all. This year's T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society Physician of the Year Award goes to Dr. Colette Brown Graham. In her absence is her husband. Mr. Graham. Our last category is T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society Healthcare Professional of the Year. This is someone who's been very active in the organization throughout the entire year. Dr. Carl Michel was born and raised in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, and earned his Bachelor of Science degree in biology at FIU. He attended Temple University's prestigious School of Pediatric Medicine in Philadelphia, where he received his doctorate degree. Subsequently to completing his medical education, he moved to Michigan, where he completed an advanced and extensive surgical residency in orthopedic trauma and reconstructive procedures on the foot and ankle at St. John's Providence Hospital. His most accomplished role to date is being a husband and a father. Is anyone here to represent Dr. Michel? Okay, let's just give him a round of applause for what he does in the community. I call it Coach Debbie. Coach Debbie Magnet. Coach Debbie serves as a program specialist for the Children Service Council of Palm Beach County, site coordinator for Brazilian Touch Points, and owns her own counseling experiences. Coach Debbie motivates. Yes, she does. Due to her mental health advocacy work in diverse community, Coach Debbie was elected twice by Legacies Magazine as one of South Florida's top 40 under 40 Black leaders of today and tomorrow in 2016 and 17. And in 2016, Education and Empowerment honoree with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Let's give Coach Debbie a round of applause. Dr. Adam Ramsey owns Iconic Eye Care, an optical, actually it's like a little boutique. You go in there, you don't want to come out, but I promise when you go in there, you're going to spend some money while you're in there. Specializing in unique, sophisticated, and fashionable eyewear for those with exquisite taste, Dr. Ramsey is trained to fit contact lenses on advanced cornea conditions such as keratoconus. Did I say it right, Dr. Ramsey? This year's T. Leroy Jefferson Healthcare Professional of the Year award goes to Dr. Adam Ramsey. Dr. Ramsey does a lot to keep T. Leroy Jefferson on the map. We appreciate everything that he does. So this is very well deserved, Dr. Ramsey.
Thank you so much.
Let's give all of our award winners, nominees, a round of applause for all that they're doing in the community. We thank them so much. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and thank all of our sponsors and our supporters. Without you guys, it would not be an event. Let's give a round of applause for our platinum sponsor, Triple O Research. Our silver sponsor, Vitas Healthcare. Our bronze sponsors include some really good friends of mine. We have Manicare, Heartland, Miss Charlotte Leonard Rabian, and her table over here. Bank of America, who are huge supporters. Bank of America, raise your hand. Thank you so much. One of my friends, we call each other Thelma and Louise. CSI Home Care, Pam, wave your hand. And Admiralty Home Health, which is Mr. Allen. Thank you so much. We also had a ticket sponsor, which is Legacy Magazine. You have a copy of his publication in your seats as well. So we want to thank him as well. Thank you for each and every one of you guys that came out and supported this event today. It would not have happened without you. At this time now, we're going to do our raffle. Did you guys get your raffle tickets? Okay, last call for raffles. We got some great prizes. You going to help me with the raffle? Okay, I need my assistants to come over here. Let's give these ladies a round of applause. We got some really, really good gifts. So what should we give out first, Alan? All right, First Source Real Estate. That is Mr. Darnell Gardner. Wave your hand, Darnell. This guy does it all, and he does it in multiple states and countries. The Bahamas, Florida, Georgia. What other states? I see you all over the place. Huh? Jamaica. So if you have any real estate needs or questions, please see Daryl. Ask Daryl, as his commercial says on Facebook. This is a $100 gift card. You want to? Okay. We got a lot of tickets in here. $454 are the last three digits. 454. All right. Okay, you can take that to her. Who is that? Oh, Christy, wonderful. What are we doing next? Okay, Coach Debbie, what is that, a life kit for parenting? Where did Coach Debbie? The light is so bright in here, I feel like I'm at the Academy Awards. I can't say. Okay, what is that? It's a, what, life kit for parenting? Okay, we're going to give that away next. Who can learn a little bit more about their kids? You never arrive when you're trying to teach kids, right? It's always a learning process. The last three numbers are 379. 379. Did I see a hand go up? All right, wonderful. Let's take that to her. And the bikes, too. Thank you, guys. We got a lot of tickets in here. Thank you, guys, so much. Okay, what are we giving away next, Alan? Vitas Healthcare gift basket. Wine, cheese, and chocolate. Who wants that? Tina's like 501. My good friend from Brookdale. All right. 677. I have to be fair, Tina. 677. All right, Miss Noretta. Miss Noretta, you act like you didn't want to stick your hand up. I need to check your ticket. Check Miss Noretta's ticket. I'm just messing with her. Wonderful. Okay. This is on behalf of Admiralty Home Health. Alan donated this. This is a $200 gift card. I should have bought some tickets. Are you guys having a good time? It is a lot of tickets in here, so I'm mixing them around. Okay. Last three numbers are 686. 686. All right, wonderful. She said, this is exciting. Now I can go shopping. Alan, I think she's trying to take a picture with them. Our final raffle is a couples massage for 2 here at PGA. So you and your significant other can come and get an hour massage. It's for 2 people. All right, I'm mixing it around. Look how Bruce looking at me like. Look at Dr. O and Miriam. The last 3 digits are 394. 394. You must be present to win. Let me see your ticket. All right. Oh my God. Now who's going to take that? His mom's going to take that from him. She's like, go up there, son. Go on. Wonderful. Thank you all so. We raised $410. Give yourself a round of applause. That's it. Again, before I turn the mic over to Dr. O, and Alan's itching to get the mic back again. Thank you all so much, all the community partners, friends. I am the co-chair for the walk for 2018. So we want you to support that as well. But thank you so much for all you do in the community. And before we sit down again, let's just give our nominees another round of applause. And one of the things I want to say about Dr. O and T. Leroy Jefferson Medical Society, you have to appreciate those that support you. And thank you guys for my gifts this morning. Thank you for all the acknowledgement. And together we can make it better here in Palm Beach County. Dr. O, if you would come up for closing remarks, and I think Alan wants to say something as well.
I see she wanted all the time at the end.
That's on the schedule. We went by what was in the schedule.
She's saying we're going by the schedule. Dr. O, I'm going to talk after you. It's about the pledge cards.
Pablo, Shawanda, come on. Well, I'd like to thank you all again for coming today. This means a lot to us. And I want to bring everyone on stage to, again, thank them for everything they've done to make this happen. So this is a team that made this happen. So please. Now, next year is going to be bigger. We're going to have a gala evening. You get to wear your nicest clothing. So start getting, go shopping right now. Plan for this event. So we'll make sure we give enough time to be prepared for this. And we want to make this bigger. Every year we want to make sure we do this, and we do this right. All right? Thank you all for coming.
All right. So in your program, there was a pledge cards. Did anyone fill those pledge cards out as of yet? If you could please raise your hand, we'll have Stefan walk around and pick up the pledge cards if you have them ready. If you didn't fill them out and want to fill them out later, I think there's information on there that you can give it. You can send it. But we want to thank you guys for those donations because it helps our program, and we'll be able to reach out to further distance for that stuff. So again, we want to thank you guys for coming. This is the close of the show, so I would encourage people to network. There's a lot of professionals in this room, and we will see you next year. Thank you very much.